Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host Scotty McCoy, and boy do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me right now James Stokes, and he is going to be playing Sheriff Mike Prescott in the upcoming Reunion from Hell 2 film. Hey James, how you doing?
Doing great, Scotty. How are you doing?
Doing good. I'm so glad to have you on. The first question I got for you, how'd you get your start into acting?
Wow. Yeah, about 10 years ago, a friend of mine in Hopkinsville, Kentucky was doing some short films at a little Western place called Copper Canyon. And he just kind of asked for some extras. And I had done entertainment, been in the entertainment business before, with Opryland USA and at the amusement park and stuff. So I just called him up or wrote him on Facebook and said, hey, if you need some extras, I can come down. He said, absolutely. And I went down and became an extra and met another guy that was doing another feature film. And he said, you'd be perfect for a role that I have as a bad guy in Soldier's Joy that we did it's about 10 years ago now, I guess. And and I met his agent and that became my agent. And so started putting me in for some commercials and some other work. And then lo and behold, if the Stranger Things family didn't call me, and I got on that show, and then it just worked its way downhill. And now here I am.
Nice. That's awesome. So I know you were in Reunion from Hell, the first one. So how did that come about, and how did you get brought back for the second one?
Well, when Reunion from Hell was filming in Louisville, I friended Hayden and just kind of asked him if he was still casting for that, because I'm a big horror guy anyway. So, and he said, actually, he was still casting. And he said, I have a perfect role for you as a cop, believe it or not. I mean, I play a cop in a lot of stuff. So he said, yeah, I have a perfect role for you. And as it went on and progressed, he decided he was going to do a Reunion from Hell 2. At that time, nobody knew that except some of the cast members. And he said, it's a very small part in Reunion from Hell 1. He said, but you'll have a bigger part in 2. Yeah. And I said, sure, I'd love to come back for 2. And then so we came up with the officer Michael Prescott, and so Reunion from Hell 2 is going to be very good. It's got a good stellar cast in it. Not that Reunion from Hell 1 wasn't, but it was just 2 is going to be a lot better. Hayden, his writing is just amazing. He's a very good writer. And so, yeah, I think you're going to like Reunion from Hell 2.
That's awesome. So speaking of the cast, we know 3 alumni from A Nightmare on Elm Street, Lisa Wilcox, Danny Hassel, and Mark Pan are all in it. So what was it like working with them?
It was amazing. Getting to hear some of the stories, especially from Danny and from Mark. It was amazing, just getting to know them as, the 80s slasher movies and stuff. Especially Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5 and stuff like that. Lisa in 2, Mark was in 2. It was just amazing getting to work with actors in the horror genre like that. Yeah. I've worked with several John Dugan. I've worked with him from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Marshall Teague. I've gotten to work with him. I've gotten to work with some big names in the horror genre. Awesome. Nick Benson and Mick Strawn. They're 2 of the biggest FX guys in Hollywood, as far as FX. And it's just getting to work with these guys is just absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. So how was Hayden as a director?
Hayden was great. Yeah, I mean, he's great as a director. I mean, he has a vision, just like any other director. And he allows us as cast or as actors to take our role and do what we want with it and to make it our own, which is great when you have directors like that. It's hard when a director kind of manages everything that you do. Yeah. Now some directors are like that, and that's fine. It's their vision, and you have to do what they want. But when you have a director like Hayden that kind of says, look, this is your character, make him, you don't have to go by every word in the script. You know, if you think that this sounds better, you know, let's try that. You know, and Sam Hodge, and I was first unit. I was first assistant director on Reunion from Hell 2 as well. They made me that during it, you know, and so I appreciate the input that they allowed me to have on set as a producer and as a first AD. But Sam Hodge, absolutely amazing cinematographer and director himself. So I mean, he is just amazing. You know, the vision that they brought, and I think you're going to really love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really wish I didn't end up with that COVID thing, you know, going on. So I really wanted to meet all you guys, and I know Hayden told me this, like, the script is a lot. He was like, this is like Rooney from Hell 1 was good, but we're not playing when it came to 2.
No. It was a totally different feel, and sticking to the same storyline, but it was a different feel on set, if that makes any sense. A lot of people wouldn't understand that, but it's just it was a totally different feel. And those of us that came back, like Jonna and Sam and Hayden and me and a couple of others, it was just a totally different feel. You know, being up in the mountains of Gatlinburg, all of us staying in this one gigantic, huge house and just shooting everything there was absolutely just amazing. So
that's awesome. So everybody's, if they didn't see any of my other interviews with the cast from Reunion from Hell 2, they're probably wondering, what is this movie about? What are they talking about? So can you give us a little update on what this movie is?
Reunion from Hell? Well,
the second one.
The second one. Okay. Well, Reunion from Hell, of course, it's, you know, it's a slasher film. Don't want to give too much away on 2, but it's a reunion. I mean, just like it says, it's a reunion. And, you know, we go, I am now Hayden's mother's boyfriend in the movie. And that kind of was not shown in the first one whatsoever. So I am now, you know, we kind of surprise Hayden with this as we get up to the cabin for Christmas. It's a Christmas themed, you know, thing as we go up to the cabin, and all of the friends and stuff are asked to come up, and you know, it's kind of a reunion now because of Hayden lost his brother, and Hayden, you know, the family trauma that they went through and stuff. And then Mark plays a very interesting character as the kind of a reporter that's looking for the next big story, you know, and just don't care about the family. He just cares about the story, you know. And Danny plays the uncle, and then I played the boyfriend to his mom. And so it's a continuation of one that just kind of like, you don't know who the killer is going to be, and that's about all I'm going to say about it, just for the mere fact that it is a slasher film. So there's a lot of blood and a lot of stuff goes on in the movie that I just don't want to give away too much. But I think people are going to, if you love Scream, you will love this movie. I mean, and I'll just leave it at that.
Nice. So obviously, you know, Mike Prescott survived the ordeals of the first one, obviously, because he's in the second one. So how was he affected by everything that happened in the first one, now that we're, you know, in the second installment of the franchise? You know,
well, he's a protector. I mean, Mike Prescott is a big guy. He's a protector. He's a cop. So you know, he is. That's his main thing, is to protect this family. You know, he's Hayden's mom is his now girlfriend, and he wants to make sure that the whole family is protected. So while Mike is up there, it affects him because he cares about this family. He cares deeply for Hayden for Riley, you know, as the character, and he cares for his mom. So he wants to make sure that the family is protected. And it goes along with the character, and you'll see there's a couple of scenes in there where you see where Mike is the protector. And then finally, you know, when Mike has to go out and look for the killer, you know, you see him go put on his police gear and his gun, and he is that's what he does. He tells them to stay in the house. He's going out to protect them. So that's what happens. So yeah, Mike is a protector all the way around the entire film.
Awesome. So what do you believe was the best part about filming Reunion from Hell 2, and what about the worst?
The worst was driving up the hill to get to that cabin.
Heard about that.
there was some straight up hills there. And when we first got there, they was calling for like 12 inches of snow. So we was in a panic to go to the store and make sure that we had everything we needed for at least 3 or 4 days if it came down to that. So me and Hayden and Jeremiah and I think, well, that was it for the first day. But we went to the store and just bought all kinds of stuff to make sure we had enough food and everything for everybody. But it turned out that we only got like 4 or 5 inches, so it wasn't as bad as we thought. But the hill was rough. But that was the worst part. Now the best part was getting to meet a whole new family. You know, as far as actors go, you know, we had a whole new genre of people that come in with Lisa and Mark and Danny and all the whole rest of the cast, getting to meet Lydia from New York, and, you know, just getting to meet all these people coming from just different walks of life. That is the best part of movie making, I think, anyway, is getting to meet everybody and becoming that family, and because you're living under the same roof. So you kind of have to become a family. And it turned out really well.
Yeah, I live in Baltimore now, but I'm from Northeast PA. And the one thing I asked Hayden when I said, when I'm coming down there, I need to know, what are your backup plans if it snows? And he goes, I don't know. I never thought of that.
Yeah, didn't have a backup plan. But at the same time, you know, we did it. I had an SUV that went up and down the hill pretty good. So I did most of the driving up and down the hill, going to pick up Mark and Lisa and Danny at the airport and other people from the airport and stuff. So it turned out really well.
That's good.
We was up there for like 11 or 12 days.
Right. And this next question might be a little hard to answer, obviously, without giving much away. But when you first looked at the script, what do you believe was going to be the hardest part in filming this movie?
Some of the kills, which I can't talk a lot about. But that was as far as filming the whole movie. That was the hardest part. Is like, oh, how are we going to pull that off? You know, how are we going to do that? But it turned out we had a special effects guy that Sam brought from Kentucky that was absolutely amazing. And you know, we had the knives and stuff that we used, and all the instruments that we used to kill people. It turned out really well. Special effects in this movie is going to be 10 times better than the first one.
Nice.
But yeah, and that's no downplay on the first one at all. But at the same time, you live and you learn, as the old saying goes. And you do one film and you say, oh man, I could have done this so better. And then you get to do the second one, you do it better. And it turns out, and I guarantee you if there is a third one, I'm not saying that there is by any means, nothing's been done about that. But if there was a third one, things will be even better. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, things will even get better. So it turned out really well.
Awesome. And we know that the finishing up Indiegogo campaign, you know, for the remaining funds is going live. So where can people find this? Is there any specific perks you want to point out? And what should people do to donate? Like, how can they do all this?
Well, it's on all of our Facebook pages. If you just go to Facebook and go to my Facebook, go to Hayden's Facebook, any of the cast members, we've all pretty much shared it for the most part. But yeah, it's very easy to go and give. As far as perks, I haven't seen the perks that they've offered on this Indiegogo campaign for the post production, but it's if you believe in indie film at all, and indie film is big. I mean, it really is. I mean, Netflix, everything is going. A lot of indie films are being showed on these networks and stuff. It support people. If you are listening, please support indie film because it is so big, and it's so you get more content out of indie film than you do ever SAG films. And nothing against SAG films, of course. I'll be in a SAG film in a heartbeat, but it's the same time. Indie film is these struggling, unbelievably talented people, screenwriters and directors and stuff, just like my screenwriter and writer for Voorhees Night of the Beast, of course. You know, I play Jason Voorhees. It's just unbelievable the amount of support that we get. So just please, if there's any way, $1, $5, just whatever.
Yep.
Support indie film.
Right.
It helps us as actors. It helps us, the directors and stuff.
Yep.
I'm stepping into a director's role and a producer role and stuff. So I'm stepping in behind the camera and in front of the camera. So I'm taking on dual roles when it comes to this.
Yep.
But I'm doing it because my love for the film.
Yeah.
I love film. I love everything aspect about it. I learn as much as I can about it. So that's people support indie film if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can't donate even $1, then even just sharing it, because sharing costs you nothing.
Absolutely.
And that spreads it word of mouth the old fashioned way,
Yes.
And
Sharing
one share can
is
equal
amazing.
to 3 donations. So
absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. And I mean, with the good thing about indie films as well is the fact that they don't have to hide behind producers from Hollywood and have all all that rules type of stuff. Like they can make their vision come to life. And indie is so big, and like we have the likes of Lisa Wilcox, Felissa Rose, all doing indie films for the love of it.
Sure.
And that's how big it's becoming, that people from the 80s and all that are doing these films.
Yes, they dropped down from being a SAG actor to a SAG Falcor and getting to do these indie films and stuff, and it keeps them working. It keeps them working because of course, no, indie film's not going to pay you like a SAG film. No, it's not. But these actors are not doing it mainly for the money. They're doing it because of the love of being being in front of the camera and bringing people joy and stuff like that. When you watch half of these films on Netflix and stuff, that people don't understand, half of those films that they're watching are indie films. They really are. It's just going that way because you get more content out of it. And you got some really great talented actors out there.
Exactly. I can't tell you how many films I've even done for nothing just because I love acting.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we do it. I did it there for a long time. I work for free because trying to build my IMDb. Now I've got 50 plus credits on my IMDb, and I'm not trying to build my IMDb up to. I'm trying to do really good stuff. And if you go to my IMDb and stuff, you see some really good stuff out there.
Absolutely.
And that's I love it. That's what I want to do.
Absolutely. And I had Jason Pitts on the show. He has a movie coming out. I believe it's going to be releasing in May, where he's Night of the Beast. You previously mentioned that. Do you want to do a plug for that and let us know about what that movie's about?
Well, sure. Absolutely. Well, sad to say, it may not come out May 13th. I know we did announce May 13th. Our editor has had some health problems. And I would like for everybody that knows Jason Mansfield to please pray for him. He is in rehab right now. He's just doing some stuff. He just had some health problems, but he is our editor, and so we, as of right now, have halted all editing to the film. But on another note, it is going to get edited. It's going to be amazing. Yes, it's called Voorhees, Night of the Beast. I play Jason Voorhees. Of course, everybody knows now that I get to fight Bigfoot because that's out and everything in it. So instead of Jason fighting like Freddy Krueger or Jason, or I mean not Jason, Michael Myers, I'm fighting Bigfoot. Nice. So I love, there it is. That's right awesome. There. That's the actual mask. Yep. And so this is the work really of. Cool. This is the work of Shala Tempes. She is the FX person that made this for me and made it specifically for me, the mask and everything. So I got the whole suit. But it is it's a story about Jason and the other beasts in the woods. So Jason's not the only beast out there in the woods, and so a group of kids, of course, go to Crystal Lake, and of course it's just the old slasher film of Jason fighting Bigfoot and doing his normal thing of killing anybody that steps into his side of the woods. So
nice.
It's going to be a great movie though.
That's awesome. I look forward to seeing that. I like it because it's different. You didn't see something like that. You know what I mean? So it's different. I like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So the last question I got for you, do you have any other film projects in the works, social media accounts, websites that you would like to promote to the listening viewing audience?
I do. I have several. I have actually signed LOIs on 3 more films. all over $10 million. So I can't say a whole lot about them.
Right.
I've just signed it. I've got NDAs and LOIs signed. So I'm looking forward to that. I do have a movie that I can talk about that I'm going to Bulgaria to shoot with Eric Roberts.
Oh, nice.
He'll be in it. It's called Station 211. It's already out on my IMDb page.
Okay.
Another one that I'll be going to Vegas to shoot, another horror film called Campfire. It's also out on my IMDb page. It's got Dee Wallace and a bunch, John Roebuck,
Nice.
a bunch of horror genre people from the 80s in it as well. So that's going to, and I'm also helping produce that movie as well in Vegas. Okay. My social media, I've got IMDb, I've got Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn. You know, I've got a link tree that I would like to share with you that you can share on your site.
Yep,
so people can go to and keep up with everything that I got a calendar out. Lydia will be happy that I mentioned this, but I've got a calendar out that I did this year with the Cowboy Connection people. But everybody, you can see that on my link tree. Nice. Got some other things in the works too that'll be on my link tree as well. I've got other interviews and stuff that I've done. So I've got a personal appearance agent now to where I can go to these cons and sign autographs. So yeah, so I'm available for anybody that would like to have me come to talk or sign autographs, you know, like that at a con or anything like that. So, but anyway, yeah, I've got all that coming up. So I'm doing a lot.
Awesome.
I've got a lot on my plate. Yeah.
Sounds good. And if anybody's watching this, say a year from now, and they want to see what James is up to, just check out his IMDb. I'm sure it'll be updated with any future, past, and present films that he has in the works.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. I thank you so much, James, for joining me today.
Scotty, thank you so much. Have me on anytime, buddy.
Absolutely. You have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Right. Yep. Bye.